Manchester United fans at Old Trafford chanted "Fergie, sign him up" as Carlos Tevez sauntered back to the halfway line. Tevez had just made it 2-0 against Manchester City on the stroke of half-time by rattling a ball beyond a helpless Shay Given, and that strike meant Sir Alex Ferguson's side were a step closer to successfully defending their Premier League crown. What Tevez lacked in stature he made up for in confidence, and he played like he was the king of Old Trafford that afternoon, despite Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney, Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs also playing their part in the win. "I didn't read any of the papers. He's a Manchester United player," Ferguson said after the game, but his response was hard to believe as there had been simply no escaping Tevez in the headlines in the lead-up to the derby. The news of the world's exclusive had surprised the club, and it had thrown Tevez's future in doubt, with the striking saying, "I am very sad about this, but I guess what I'm saying is goodbye. I don't think I'll be a United player next season. I've done everything I possibly can, but they have never made me an offer or given me a contract. I have not been treated as a member of the family. The fans treat me like family, but United have not signed me, so they don't respect me as a footballer." The player was coming to the end of his extended 2-year United loan, but the deal was expected to be made permanent, with Chief Executive David Gill stating the situation would be resolved in early June. Although United had communicated their intention to sign Tevez permanently throughout the season, the framework for a deal hadn't been finalized, and the player felt had been disrespected, which led to a dramatic departure. United submitted their proposal, but it was too late. Tevez representatives informed the club he would be leaving. Reports then emerged linking him with Liverpool, and noisy neighbours City took notice of the situation. Tevez, was a thorn in our side, City manager Mark Hughes said just a few weeks previously. "I thought he played exceptionally well, and he scored with an exceptional strike. I've read the reports, but I don't want to comment." Tevez's mind had been decided, and there was nothing United could do. The big one was when Tevez went there from us. "That moment I was like raw because I knew how good he was," Rio Ferdinand told William Hill years later. "We knew exactly what player they were getting. We were like, nah." At the time I was like, this guy doesn't understand the rivalry. What is he doing? But at the same time, I knew the story behind it. He wanted to sign the contract at Man United well before that time. United delayed and didn't come to him, and the kind of guy he is, I have respect for him in the end for it, because he said, you know what, you have disrespected me. He thought, I don't care what you offer me, I am not signing. I remember David Gill, the chairman at the time, asked me to ring him and speak to him and his agent and try to tell him to listen and sign. I remember his agent saying, Rio, it doesn't matter what money they offer him, he won't sign. He feels he has been disrespected, so that's it. As much as I was disappointed, I respected it. Tevez completed his move to City for £25.5 million on the 14th of July 2009 and said, City showed me their ambition to be one of the biggest clubs in the world and I was happy to join. Money was not the most important thing about my move. I have a coach who wants me and a good fanbase and environment around me. I am excited about working with Mark Hughes and building a good relationship with him. The objective is to win the league and I am here to win things. However, signing Tevez from under the nose of Ferguson wasn't enough for City, who wanted to gloat about the deal. It was decided a billboard would be commissioned, and what happened next would increase tensions in Manchester. David Pullen was City's chief brand and marketing officer, and he wanted to make a grand statement. He was the executive who came up with the idea of the Welcome to Manchester poster, albeit Abu Dhabi were initially reluctant to agree to it. The club's former chief executive was eventually persuaded. He didn't want to run it because he felt it was antagonistic towards United fans at a time when the whole Abu Dhabi ethos was to be respectful, Pullen told The Athletic. They, Abu Dhabi, didn't want to play that game of being antagonistic. I sat down with him and said, look, this isn't a big two fingers up at United. It's tongue-in-cheek, it's funny, it's a way of showing our fans that, despite all the changes and all the money coming into the club, we still understand them and we still care about them. We aren't being disrespectful, it's celebratory. It's the first opportunity for City fans to celebrate getting one over on their old rivals, so why not? He was persuaded that it wasn't a negative thing to do. The fans loved it, and the rest is history. The cheeky blue billboard was positioned in the heart of town in Deansgate, and it left United fans seething. The artwork was soon splattered with red paint, and it continued to be targeted throughout the duration of it being up. Every morning there would be socks filled with red paint lying on the street at the bottom of the poster, Pullen added. Overnight, the United fans would come down with tins of red paint, fill up these socks and throw them at the poster to try to turn it red. The billboard cost £30,000 and Pullen described it as one of the most valuable pieces of marketing ever. There was even a rumor of Tevez paying £2,000 to put a 20-feet print of the poster on the wall of his games room, but it wasn't true. The stunt incensed Ferguson, and when he responded to the billboard, the country was listening. The billboard in Manchester is just City all over, isn't it? They are a small club with a small mentality, and all they can talk about is Manchester United, he said. That's all they've done and they can't get away from it. The poster is a stupid thing using Tevez in that way, and they've shown an arrogance which does them no favors. It's clear that it's a go at us because they think taking Tevez away from Manchester United is a triumph. But it's poor stuff. I thought Tevez would go to City a long time ago, so it didn't come as any surprise to me. Ferguson's rant didn't stop there. There is an edge being put on us because of all the buying City have done, he added. For me, City's biggest triumph could simply be getting those players to the club. I don't know if they will do anything. It's not easy to get into that top four. City's spending is demoralizing only if you panic about the buying. They have the money, and when they offer it, most of it will be cash. But, at the end of the day, Everton did well against us. They did brilliantly against Liverpool and well against Chelsea last season. So it will not be easy for City, and they don't even come into my equation at all. I don't look upon City as my biggest challenge. The best City team against the best Everton team is still a game, isn't it? For all the buying they have done, they still have to pick a team with balance, and that won't be easy for Mark. What's he got? 8 strikers. So if he picks a squad to go to Chelsea, he has to leave 4 behind. He has to deal with that, and I know it will not be easy. Ferguson's response was passionate, and it caused a stir in the Etihad boardroom. The fact it irritated him caused a bit of a wobble with the owners. They didn't want to take him on, head-on, Pullen explained. They didn't want to make it out that City was the future, United were the past. We weren't trying to annoy Ferguson, but the fact he allowed himself to get annoyed by something so small tells you everything about the direction of travel at that time. It wasn't the intention, but the fact it got to him would have been seen, certainly among the fans, as a very positive side effect. When the teams met in the League Cup semi-final that season, Tevez scored a brace in a 2-1 win for City, and he ran to the touchline with a message for his former teammate Gary Neville, gesturing that he talked too much. Tevez wasn't happy with Neville's comments in the media, saying United were justified not to sign him. The tensions between the clubs kept on rising and the rivalry heightened when Old Trafford hosted the Manchester Derby. United won 4-3 thanks to a late, dramatic Michael Owen goal, and after returning to the tunnel, Ferguson gave City's chief communications officer, Vicky Kloss, the hairdryer treatment for the welcome to Manchester billboard. Ferguson believed she was behind the stunt, and he took another dig at City in his post-match interview. The goal for this club is to win the league. It doesn't matter what we do against Man City. We want to be at the top, he said. Okay, at the moment, we have a neighbor and sometimes they're noisy. You cannot do anything about that. You just have to get on with your life. The demonstration of our playing power was obvious to everyone. We were fantastic today. Although Tevez settled into life at City, scoring 29 goals in his first year at the Etihad, he was soon involved in more controversy at the end of the 2011-12 season when waving a banner reading "Rip Fergie" during a title-winning parade. The banner was intended to be a response to Ferguson's claim that not in his lifetime would City be superior in Manchester, but it was widely considered to be distasteful, and the club released a strong statement to apologise. A City spokeswoman said, "The creation of the tasteless material is in itself reprehensible, and in accepting and brandishing it, Carlos has made a significant error of judgment. The club wishes to express its sincerest apologies to Sir Alex Ferguson and Manchester United Football Club for any offence or distress caused." Tevez attempted to clarify, "I got carried away in the excitement of the moment, and I certainly didn't mean any disrespect to Sir Alex Ferguson, who I admire as a man and a manager." United were happy with City's statement, and it seemed the incident had been put to bed, but Tevez stoked the fire again when speaking to Spanish media. "It seems like Ferguson is the President of England," he said. "Because every time he speaks badly of a player, or when he always talked rubbish about me, I never went out to say he had to apologise. When you mess up you should go out and apologize, but I do not apologize." Despite there appearing to be some bad blood between Tevez and Ferguson, the player insisted in 2016 there was no fallout. With Ferguson, nothing bad happened, it was a normal relationship. "I went to United for 2 years on loan, and in the final year, Ferguson told me that they were going to buy me permanently," he explained. "We got to the Champions League final in Rome and I didn't have any contract on the table, even though they'd spent the whole year telling me that, so I went to City and they complained, but I never had the option of signing for United, so I was free." Ferguson would not speak to Tevez again after his move to City, and he was unimpressed to learn some of his squad remained friendly with him. Carlos Tevez was my close friend, but I was not pleased when he joined Manchester City, Patrice Evra said. Carlito, I said, what are you doing? This shirt isn't you. I have been to your house and you still have a picture of yourself wearing a United shirt near your pool table. You are a Red, you know deep in your heart that you are a Red. Deep down, I think he still had a great affection for United. He once told me that he would always respect United fans. I know he did well for City. I know he was a great player for them. But he'd won league titles and the Champions League with United. Tevez was sold by City to Juventus in 2013 and he departed as one of only 14 players to represent both Manchester clubs. The striker was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, but he certainly made a splash during his time in the Northwest.